Well, hello. So before you start digging, it's really important to do your locate. So as you can see here, PUD coming, they have a buried cable there. We've got a water meter here. City of Kennewick did that. You can see that this here white, that marks the access. So I have a ramp coming into the building here. C&E trenching, worked with Jake and Curtis, and they have their company coming in here, and we're gonna be down probably about 1.5 feet on this side. They staked off the corners. What they do when you find the 4 corners of your building, they do 10-foot offsets, right? So 10 foot on both corners, and that gives you enough room to work inside of the building. So what that does is it goes down there. You can see right through the front of the tires of the grader. That is the 10-foot offset corner. Then you can see over there, that's the other corner. So that'd be the northeast corner. This here, particular one, I needed to take a look at it. And this stake is all pink because it marks my finished floor height. So my finished floor height, again, this is what we were looking at on the plan. It's 458 feet is the elevation. And so that's what it's marked at. I believe finished floor is here. Not sure, but they know how to read it. Stratton Surveying, Aaron, worked with him, and he comes out and gives me my property corners, finds my pins, GPS, and elevation, and gets it exactly where it needs to be. So after a long time, it is sure nice to see a little bit of dirt moving. This is not even close to finish, but it is closer. Over here marks, again, this one here is going to mark a 10-foot offset. So we're actually marked 10 foot over from where we need to be. So the building would be 10 foot in. And that would be the corner of the building. That would be the front of the building, which has my storefronts, my awning, and all my customer parking. C&E, trenching, Pasco. 2 brothers, actually their dad, started the company with them, and then the 2 brothers took over the company and own the company, and they're gonna do all my civil engineering, all my drainage, so all the dry wells, which is underneath of the parking lot, so when it rains and storms, all the water has to go to these dry wells. And one of the things was you can't build your land and then have all that water run off to somebody else's property or onto the street. You need to contain the rain and the storms that land on your land, I guess. Land on your land? Yeah. So if it rains, then we've got a place to go with all the water. So as you can see, what Don Deno did, the owner of this building, neighbor to me, he put in the dry wells. So there's a dry well, you'll see in like a little street grid. This also marks my back property corner. So as you can see, this little pin here, they put it in the curb, and this marks my back corner. And then that goes over here. You can see it goes there. This is Union Pacific Railroad, and it borders right up to the property line. Again, this is the city sewer is actually in the railroad easement. So that was a couple extra steps to take. Took me about 8 months to do a couple extra steps. So sometimes steps aren't just like clickety click. When you have someone that takes 2 weeks to reply to an email, it takes a long time. And then after trying to get approvals and signatures and a process and a paper, basically paper signatures, it does take quite a bit to get that. So I just met these guys here. I asked them if they had any questions for me. They said they had everything figured out. I told them good. Stratton Surveyor, I scheduled them this morning at 7:30, and then I assume that these guys arrived sometime later. He says that he understands, he knows what he's doing. He said he's gonna get my finished floor within 1/2 inch. So if you can go 240 feet, be within 1/2 inch, it's pretty good. He said he might be able to even get it closer to that. We talked about a 1/4 of an inch. That makes me light up when things are done right, like that. And so anyways, this is what we're doing. I have a little bit of a dilemma here. So here's the easement, and here's their guy wire. So the PUD is supposed to have their guy wire on the inside of their easement, and you can see that they're about 10 inches off or so. So technically that's not in the right spot, and they're the ones that put it up there in the wrong spot. So if that becomes an issue, that will probably take a couple extra steps too, of understanding what it is, what we need to do, and so forth. Once you clear a lot like this, one of the big problems is dust control. Right now, we got 5 miles an hour wind maybe, and later this week it's supposed to rain on Thursday, and we're supposed to get up to like 16 miles an hour wind. So what happens is all this dust blows across the neighborhood, and the city of Kennewick does not allow that. So what you have to do is get dust control, is a fancy way to say water. So you get as big a tank as you can with water, you put water on the dust, it turns to mud, then you've got a mud control problem. But at least the mud you can deal with, contain.
That's finished floor.
That's finished floor. Okay.
So,
See your tape. Wow, that was right here.
oh,
It was this one here. Yeah.
so they're all good.
Yeah. Yep.
So we kind of have an idea.
So you go. How do you know what's 44s?
4400s on tenths.
Oh, got you.
Yeah.
So you want.
This is inches. This is tenths.
Oh, got you.
And they always mark it at 44 on tenths.
On 10.
Yeah.
So 44. Yeah, got you.
Yes, sir.
Huh.
Engineer tape. Yeah.
What do they call this? Dust control, or like a? It's a silk fence. That's what it is.